Hello, everybody. I just realized that I can't see shit. And I'm thinking that's because I don't have my spectacles on. But for what I want to talk about today, they're not required. So basically, I've been up for, I don't know, like 24 hours. And I got down this, I went on my phone for a little bit. And you know how it goes, right? You go on your phone for like 10 seconds, and next thing you know, you're on that bitch for at least the entire day. So that was just how it went, right? So it's like started out real weird, and then it transitioned to like car accident, and then it transitioned to, I don't even know what to call it because I'm not really in the scene, but it's like the car scene where everybody drives like those super fast cars and fucking drag races and whatnot. And I've been watching those videos for the past like 8 hours, and I have some thoughts, and I don't know what the community is like. So pardon me if I speak like a fucking idiot, as the R word, as some of you like to say. Which, by the way, I know that's really nitpicky, but you guys, I know you guys are dumb, but you guys can figure out other words to use other than the R word, because you can use idiot, you can use numbskull, you can use baka, you can use so many words, but you choose the R word. Like, I know, like, it's semantics, not semantics. I know it's just like a word, but like, you guys are smarter than that. I know. Like, I know you guys are like smart enough to like figure out like words have meaning to them. And that's just my thing because I've been hearing a lot of that word floating around in that sphere, which makes sense because it's filled with dudes that are most likely very insecure, and that's coming from someone that's coming from someone who's also very insecure herself, but not enough to put like a muffler in my car or like make it fart. And oh my god, like I pray to whatever deity is out there that this video does not get back to that community, because I will be torn up a new one, because I know for a fact my state has like a fairly big community, and if it comes full circle, I can never leave my house. Oh, I can never leave my house. Oh, in my suburb house. Okay, I can never leave my house because as the young kids would say, they would most definitely spin my block, and I am just but a mere mortal. Okay, so don't just, like I said, words have meanings. I know, but like, okay, so I'm just gonna preface that with that. Well, anywho, so so I've been watching a lot of those videos, and the one thing that I have like some things that I like appreciate about the overall scene, and some things that I just find kind of curious. Like, it doesn't make sense to me, but maybe that's because I don't have the mind of the people that are interested in that. Like, what do you even call it? Like a hobby? I was gonna call it a sport, but like it's not really F1. It's more like street racing. So I don't know if that's called a sport though. I've never seen it in the Olympics, but if it was, I don't know if I'd watch it, because every time I watch a video where they do this thing, I think it's called oh fuck, what is it called? It's like where they like weave through traffic. They have like a word for it. I think it's called like, it starts with a C, I think. It's not called surfing. What the fuck is it called? Like swimming? No, it's called like, it was in my head. It was in my head. But anyway, so it's basically a thing. You guys have probably seen a video where the super fast car is like weaving in like traffic, so they'll move from one lane to the other just to like dodge cars and stuff. And I believe it's like similar to like a roller coaster where you do it for the adrenaline rush. And I don't know, okay? Because here's my thoughts on that matter, right? While I find that those videos like very entertaining, because like I said, it's very similar to roller coasters, and that it gives you that adrenaline rush. But I feel like you can get that same adrenaline rush from playing a video game, right? I feel like if you could just sit your ass down and play some GTA, and it'd be the same. I don't know, but I feel like there's a wolf, there's a wolf inside of me, right? One of the wolves is being like, "Girl, you're being a snowflake." Like, they're just having fun. They're not hurting anybody. But then the other wolf within me is a little bit less brutal, and it's like okay. It's like the overall idea of it. It just like makes me like worried for everyone on the road, like including the driver. because like the amount of times like they scrape by a car or like take off like someone's like little call it, the side mirrors, like the amount of times I see that happening, I'm just like could you imagine if your car, god fucking forbid, just fucking locks up on you, just fails on you for some reason, and you slam into a van that has like kids inside, kids, someone's mom, someone's dad, someone's aunt, someone's uncle, and you just end their life because you were just trying to have a joyride. And I see all these people like trying to rationalize it, saying, oh, like you only live once, like you have to live your life to the fullest, but that doesn't mean you have to be selfish while you live, right? You can have fun, you can, yeah, you can have fun, you can do all sorts of things because you have your own autonomy. But as a society, as a community, we have to look out for each other, and by doing so, we should be able to have fun while not hurting others, if that makes sense. Like for me, I think that the thing that I like to have fun, which is sitting in here and talking shit, it's not really hurting anybody because I'm not really directing the anger towards anybody in particular. I'm just, talking out my fucking booty hole. But in the instance of where you're in your fucking your SRT, your Hellcat, whatever you want to call it, right? You're in your Mustang, your Shelby, whatever. Shelby, can you? I don't know how a Shelby would hold up, but anyways, you're in your fucking Hellcat, whatever, and you're just weaving through traffic, and you're like, oh, this is all fun and games, and you're just so happen to be on Instagram Live, and you're distracted. You have people in your fucking seat telling you like, oh, hey, bro, chill out, and you have like this loud music playing, and I can imagine like in just a split second where you have like a moment of just like overwhelming, just like 1 second of like just misjudgment, like it can literally end someone's life or cause like a lot of trauma for someone. And I believe that if you're doing something for fun, it shouldn't cause trauma to other people by proxy, if that makes sense. And it's like I would understand if you were doing it alongside other racers, because you guys are like consenting the sport, and like the the challenges and like the dangers that comes with that type of hobby. But when you're just like driving on a highway where people are just trying to get home or trying to get to a place, and you're like weaving between them, like nipping their car and all of this, like I just think that like they didn't consent to that. Like obviously when you're on the road, you're somewhat consenting to, be along other drivers, but you're expecting them to at least adhere to the rules of the road. At least I sometimes don't. Okay, I'll sit here, I'll be the first to admit that I sometimes don't adhere to the rules of the road, but I try my best not to, damage other people's property. I try not to hurt others, and that's basically what I try to do. But I feel like with street racing, it definitely puts a lot of people that aren't like, I don't want to say consenting because you can't really consent to this thing because you're on public like roads and stuff, but I just don't know what the word is. But like I feel like that's why I feel like it's fine when the racers do it on their own time. Like they can do it like on the streets when it's all empty and shit. Like I don't give a fuck about that. They can go on a dirt road whenever it's empty, whatever, fucking blow your smoke, do whatever fuck you want, do your donuts. I don't give a fuck. But when it comes to like other people like just living their life on the road and not having any knowledge of like what could actually happen if they, accidentally break or this and that, like it can literally be them just accidentally like breaking to cause like this cataclysmic event that could literally like either end them up in like a hospital, traumatize them for the rest of their life, or legit like take their life. And I've seen so many videos where these racers, they're obviously going at speeds upwards to like 100 miles per hour, sometimes even to like 200, and and your brakes, while they are reliable to some degree, I don't think they're like um I don't think they're like a roadblock. I don't think they're like, oh, just do a little tap and that's it. Like I think that when you're going speeds of that speed, like you're going that speed, um yeah, you gotta be them brakes, they're gonna need a while to kind of kick it, just a little bit, just a little bit. And so that's how I feel about it. But then there's also a side of me where I'm like, I'm sure that like the more responsible people in the community are aware of these dangers and try their best to only rev their cars, or like what's the fucking word, like they have terminologies to it, okay, they have their own lingo to it, and I don't want to seem like a poser, but they have like the, or like it's called like I don't know what the fuck it's called, but like when they like speed up like momentarily, I don't remember what the fuck it's called, but when they do things like that, I appreciate it when they do it in like a street where it's not filled with people and when they can just get hurt by themselves. Um because yeah, it just freaks me out. Like I like watching those videos. I'm not gonna lie. I look. It's like a morbid fascination to it. You know, like I just can't believe that people are this ballsy and admittedly this stupid to even attempt this sport. Because one, these cars are not cheap by any sense of the word. By any sense of the word. Okay, these cars are worth more than houses probably. And the fact that they're just like driving around all willy nilly, being like, oh, bro, I got this, and swerving through traffic and fucking doing all this shit, like all these tricks they know they can't really perform to a vehicle that literally could be demolished in seconds and you spent your entire life saving on it. Like, it's crazy, man. Like, I know maybe you have some expendable money, but how many Hellcats can you go through in a year? It's not like you're buying like beat up Toyotas to use. Like it's not like you're buying like beat up fucking Hondas to use. You're fucking buying Hellcats and like Mustangs and stuff. And then I know for a fact them bitches don't come for cheap. And so the concept of that to me, of having something so expensive in your possession and recklessly using them, it just like baffles me because I know you worked hard for these cars. I know you worked super duper hard for these cars. I know you put in a lot of effort to deck them out. I know you put in a lot of effort to really like modify them and all of this, right? So it befuddles me when you don't treat your car with that respect that you put into it. Like you put so much work and effort into that car, making it your own, making it all unique and whatnot, and you're and you just want like an ego. Like you just want like an ego, like an ego boost for just a minute. But that minute can have like a second where you just have a lapse in judgment, and next thing you know your fucking car's in a ditch and your fucking homie's like arm is hanging off, and then some shit like that, right? Like it just befuddles me because I personally have a car that I would consider pretty expensive. It's like a Lexus. I don't even know what like make it is because I'm not really a car person, but it's like this little white car. um yeah, it's this little white car, and it's a Lexus. I don't know what else. But the thing is, right, it's a pretty nice car. Like I've had people compliment me about it and like offer to race me because one time I went to Taco Bell, right, and this motherfucker was like, "You see that car on front, that Camaro or whatever?" And I was like, I don't know shit about cars, but I was like, whatever, yeah. He's like, "Oh, that's my boss's," and he was like wondering if like you would like want to race him after work, and I'm like, no, girl, I'm here for my quesadilla, bitch. Like, I didn't come here with like an invitation to drag race your manager. Because if I did, then I would have definitely stepped in the lobby to speak to him about it, not go through the drive-through, because I feel like you got to be formal with those type of invitations, right? Um, so I was like, yeah, whatever, bro. Like maybe, but after that, I stopped going to Taco Bell for a few months because I was like, I don't, I don't ever want to be caught off guard. Because the last thing I want to do is I'm on the road and I'm in my somewhat nice car and someone like looks at me and wants the privilege of racing a Lexus, and I'm just in here like, babe, the most I can do is 75. The most I can do is 75. But anything above that, you're gonna have to find another Lexus because I am truly not the one. I'll even go below the speed limit if I really must, because the idea of losing my Lexus, despite not putting any modifications on it, despite not really having anything to it that is of importance to me other than the vehicle itself, I still value the vehicle, so to the point where I want to take care of it, like I want it to last a long time because it's a car that's expensive and I want to take care of it. I feel like that's the rational way to go about these things. But I feel like with these, I suppose you could call them teenagers, but I do see like some 20 somethings in the scene, and that baffles me when I see like a 20 something in the scene like willingly wreck their cars, because I'm like, are you working with blood money? Because where are you getting these funds for these Hellcats, for these Mustangs, for these Camaros, like for these SRTs? Like I just don't understand where you're getting these funds from. Because I was watching this one video where this guy was like, "Oh, this is like my fourth luxury car I've crashed this year," and I'm like, "Your fourth? You're talking like as in one, two, three, four? luxury cars in 1 year, because that's a lot of math for Elmo. And right now, Elmo is flabbergasted because what the fuck do you mean you went through 4 cars in 1 year? Most people don't even go through 1 car in 4 years. Nevertheless, like 10 years. Like I feel like it's such a privilege to have a car, and for me personally, I'm like, the last thing I want to do is take that privilege away from me by being a reckless idiot. But maybe I'm just too in my head. I'm just too much of a loser. I don't understand the sport of it all. Like maybe if I ever tried drag racing somebody, I might come around to the idea. But not my girl. No, not Ellie, because that's her name. I wouldn't put Ellie through that because she has some issues with her brakes. That I really need to get sorted out. And she's due for some maintenance. But beyond that, she's a great ride. She's an all wheel drive, and she's perfect. It's just that her brakes aren't the best, and I know for a fact if I go anywhere in the triple digits, well, let's just say that I'm wherever the car takes me, I'm going, because those brakes, they are going to do shit. They are not going to do shit. And so that's how I feel about the aspect of like whatchamacallit, like the I'm still like trying to remember what it's called. Let me check something really quick, folks. Ah, pussy. Well, whatever. Anyways, I was checking something because I'm trying to upload a video right now, and I'm having some issues with copyright. And let me just be honest with you, the BBC, the British Broadcasting Communications, you can go lick my nuts. I'm so serious. Like, you guys don't have any content in there that is worth all of this hullabaloo, because I will literally like drop kick you. Like, it's that serious. It's that serious to me. Let me just figure it out before I continue. There's nothing more I hate than some fucking bullshit. Anywho, so yeah, so that's how I feel about like when they're on like the road and stuff. But when they're doing their car meets, and I think I've only been to one or two. I don't remember, but one of them was in the winter, and my ass was freezing my butt off, and so I didn't want to stay out there for too long. And the other time I feel like was like maybe like when it was like in the summer, because I remember it only lasting a couple of minutes, but it was fun, I guess. But well, not really, because I was freaking out the entire time because they were doing donuts, and I feel like I should have been filming, because in every instance I see someone filming someone doing a donut, they never get hurt, despite the car like literally coming like inches to ending their life. Like, they never get hurt. So maybe the next time I get invited to a meet, I'll have to do that to make sure I leave the event with my 10 toes and 10 fingers on me. But I mean, those meets are fun, I guess, but I mean, don't they get boring? Like, this is to like the community, if you guys are like in it, like, wouldn't you guys get bored of it eventually, because you guys are like pulling up in the same cars like every other week or maybe every weekend, and like what do you have to really talk about? Like, I don't really know what you guys are discussing other than, you know, maybe the modifications you added to the car, or like I don't know what you guys talk about. Like, what is there to talk about? You guys just like sit there and like record cars go around, and then get like an occasional ego boost if you're really lucky. I don't know. Like, I don't know. That's why I'm genuinely asking, because it's like one of those things. It's like skateboarding, where I'm just like, I don't really understand why people do it, but like I like watching it. You know, like I like watching it, but I don't understand the psychology behind it. And if I did, I don't know if that would change my mind towards anything, because I still think it's like a reckless it's still like a really reckless hobby to have, if you're endangering other people just to have fun. That's okay. Maybe that makes me a Karen. I don't know. But like, if a Hellcat were ever to fucking whiz past me, I'm not gonna fucking call the cops on them, because as long as they're minding their own business, and as long as they're, you know, not doing anything too rowdy, then, you know, it's all good. It's all good. But if they land a finger on my girl, if they land a finger on my girl, I won't call the cops, but I will go home crying, okay? Because she is my girl, and her trunk is already not in working function, okay? I can't even open my trunk because I accidentally this is some TMI, right? But I accidentally like backed up into like a truck, like 2 or 3 years ago when I was like still in college. Like I thought like because I think my fucking the sensors were off because I sometimes turn them off when I'm in like drive-throughs and I just forget because when you're in a drive-through you just want to keep on going, and so I think I might have had that off, and then so when I was backing up, mama, the sensors were not censoring, and the next thing you know it was and then after that my girl was never the same. The truck was fine. We got out, we checked that bitch. Oh my god, that thing looked like it looked like the day it was bought. Okay, but like my car, she suffered a little bit of a dent, just a little bit of a dent, and it just so happened to be in this place in the space where the trunk hinges were, and so the other day I was like the the other day I was like trying to figure out why my fucking trunk wasn't opening, and then so I like kept on pressing it, and then by the time I got on the fucking highway, I hit like a decently small bump, and my fucking trunk, and I drove for like 5 minutes. I had to drive for 5 minutes on the highway. My fucking trunk open, trying to find like a little space where I can fucking close that shit. And ever since then, I have never touched that little button at the bottom of my car. Like I always go through like my little key fob thing, because then I know that like my fucking trunk isn't going to open, because it's happened twice now. And the last thing I want to do is to expose myself to the world like that, because I have my Trader Joe's bags back there, man. Like what happens if someone steals them? You know, they're limited edition. And so that's like the only issues with Ellie, my car. And I'd like to stay that way. Like it's an expensive car. I can admit that, and I can imagine the repairs for that bitch. Arm and a fucking leg, and that's not something I have right now. I mean, I do, but I prefer to keep them because it makes my life a lot easier. You know? Yeah. And so that's that. And then as for the meats, we'll go back to that for a brief little circle moment. Get it? I'm curious about this aspect, right? I'm not judging. I'm curious, but like what purpose, like what enjoyment do you get out of let me figure out like how to explain it. Okay, so when someone like crashes their car when they're at a meet, instead of like asking the person if they're okay, or like, you know, showing like empathy or sympathy or whatever the fuck, or showing like any sort of like, oh shit, like we're sorry that happened to you, bro. Instead they all like start cheering, being like, oh bro, he crashed his fucking Charger, he crashed his SRT, and they just start like hollering and like jumping on the car and stuff. Like I watched this one video where these girls, I think like they hit their the side of their car on a curb, and it like dented in one of their tires, and before they got out, like she rolled up the windows and everything when it happened, and but like before she got out of the car, like everyone was like climbing onto her car and like jumping on it, like standing on the fucking hood of the car, and I'm like, I feel like that's so disrespectful. I feel like you guys just need to give that car some space, because she's been through a lot. Like, I don't know, that's just how I feel about it, but maybe the community feels differently. But I feel like that's just a sign of respect. Like I feel like if that was my car and it had gotten injured, the last thing I would want for it to happen is like for more injuries to happen to them by, you know, hooligans hopping on my car and fucking, you know, making dents in my hood, because that would piss me off. Like it literally would piss me off so bad. And you know, perhaps that's the Aries in me, perhaps, but you know, the Asian side of me is like, we gotta be passive about this, you guys. We gotta be passive. We gotta be pacifists. Like this isn't what Buddha would have wanted us to do. Well, Buddha wouldn't have want you to be on the road in the first place, like driving like that, I'm sure. But what do I know? I don't know the man. But what I do know is that he probably didn't have a Hellcat. Could you imagine if Buddha, like in like one of the illustrations, had like a Hellcat? Oh my god, that would kill me. Anyways, but that's because yeah, I just feel like it's disrespectful. But maybe it's because the crowd is younger, and so they don't. Like I don't want to infantilize the crowd, because because when I went, they were like people my age. Like there were literally people like that I went to high school with, and people that are maybe like a year younger or a year older, but like they were around my age. And so if I'm able to feel, pity for what happened to their car, I feel like you should be able to feel that too, because you're in this community and you know how much effort that takes, to how much like work, money, time goes into, curating that car. And for you to have like a spin out or like a crash out, and to have everybody like crowding around your car and like making it worse, I feel like I would just never return to the community, like ever, because that literally would burn me from everyone to come back. And maybe that's the point of it. Maybe that's the point of it, to like, get rid of all the weaklings. But I think at the same time, like if you want to foster a community that's worth, continuing and like, investing in, I feel like you should show like at least some form of camaraderie to like a fallen brethren, because like I know you guys have that empathy in you, because I see videos of drivers just being really nice, like when they're on the road and stuff, like, oh, I saw your whip on IG, I think it's really cool. Or they'll just, they'll be really respectful about certain things. But when it comes to like someone crashing the fucking car, apparently it's not that, it's not all that. So maybe it's like a regional thing. Maybe it's like depends on like where the, like depends on the driver, obviously, depends on the car, depends on, maybe there's just so many moving variables that like I can't like overarch it. But like I don't think I've ever been to a meet where a car had been crashed. I mean, I feel like I would remember that if that were the case, but all I remember was someone doing donuts and us being there for like less than 30 minutes before the cops showed up. And then the sound of a gun rang out, but that could have been one of the guys' cars being. But and then also, I have something that this is a genuine question, and I'm genuinely wondering this. Like, I understand why you want your car to hum and make noises and moan for you. I understand that, like it's nice to have somebody moan for you when you're in the driver's seat. I wouldn't know anything about that, but I mean, as a man, I'm sure you guys like that, being in control and having someone moan for you while you do the tricks. But like, why do you want it to fart? Like, why do you want it to sound like it's farting? Like, I get that you want it to sound like gunshots, or what's it called? Like, there's one that's called like a bubbler, and those things just sound like your car has diarrhea. And for me personally, right, I can appreciate a car that has like a good like roar to it, like roar. But when it comes to the farting ones, I'm just like, so you want me to, so what you want me to take from this interaction with you on the road is that your car has IBS? It makes sense. It would make sense if the owner had IBS, to have some representation on the road, because I mean, IBS, it's a really prevalent disease and it's nothing to be embarrassed about. But to give it to your car like willingly, like it confuddles me. It confuddles me, because I'm like, what are we doing here, fellas? What are we doing here, fellas? Like, let's get real. Let's get real. But yeah, that's how I feel about that. And this is just like, I don't know if it's like a me thing, but I'll speak into the universe and I'll see how you guys feel about it, okay? But essentially, whenever I have like a super loud car next to me for any longer than 30 seconds, I just want to run myself off the road. And I don't know why that is. I don't know why it is. Like, sometimes I don't even know if it's called the muffler or like the engine. I don't know what it is that makes like the actual sound. But every time I am next to those cars, like, I deliberately never give them eye contact, because I know for a fact they would want to race me. Because I made eye contact with some of those, racing cars a few times, and not for me. Just not for me, okay? And so I've learned not to give them eye contact, because that's like a formal agreement of sorts. And so every time there's one next to me, like, I go out of my way to ignore them, and then I turn up my music and I try to ignore them, but then they just keep on revving that shit, like trying to get my attention, or just, that's just the way the car sounds. I don't know, like, I don't want to make it sound like, oh my god, they're thinking about me because my car is so nice. Let's pause, okay? Let's pause. That's just the way I'm interpreting this event, but perhaps the universe is telling me otherwise, okay? But anyways, well, the second the 30-second minute mark hits, I become a Karen. I really do. Like, I don't call the cops, I don't do anything, but I'm just like, shut the fuck. I literally say it. I literally say it out loud. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, I know for a fact you can shut that bitch up. So why aren't you? Why am I sitting next to you, listening to all these moans your car is making? Okay, like, I get that it probably feels good under your gooter, right? Like, it probably like vibrates your gooter a little bit, and maybe it gets your dick hard. But on the road, like, I get it. Like, I get it when you're like, I don't know, like on a dirt road, and like you get like bumps here and there, and it makes your cooter feel good, okay? But I can't feel that fucking good when you have to do it on the road wherever the fuck you go. Because you guys are gooning. Like, you guys are gooning next to me, and I didn't consent to that. Like, it's fucked. But yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. Like, I like watching them in videos because I can control the volume, and I can control the duration in which I can listen to the sound. But when I'm next to them physically, while I'm driving and I'm on the fucking highway, what the fuck can you do? I can turn up my music, but then again, I can still hear that shit because I'm not deaf. Like, just because I turn up my music doesn't mean I'm deaf to everything around me, right? And so it's I don't like using this word too often, but trifling. It's trifling. But I want to be respectful, you know, because I have a lot of people in my life that are car people, and I have a lot of people in my life that have people in their life that are car people, and so I don't want to dunk on the entire community. That's why, like, I'm trying to give them like the benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, like, you guys could just be nice. Like, you guys have nice cars, so you could just be nice inside the car too, right? Like, you guys don't have to be you guys don't have to be like a person that owns a nice car and is like a dick inside of it, right? Oh well. Well, well, I would hope you aren't a dick inside of it, because I feel like that would cause a lot of issues regarding the emissions. But but like, you don't have to be a dick. Like, essentially, you don't have to be like an asshole when you're like riding in the car. Like, you could be a nice driver and have a nice car. Like, I feel like that's like like how you have that's how you foster a good community. Like, you have a community of people that just have these cars because they love these cars, and they just want to, you know, drive these cars, have fun with it, but not be obnoxious. Because I truly feel like the people that are like the most obnoxious, and this is me being an armchair psychologist, but like, I feel like those people just were starved of attention when they were younger, and so they're trying to get that from whoever the fuck. I don't know who their audience is, because I'm surely not really one of them, but maybe they're like other car guys if they're on the road, or teenagers, or I feel like there's probably another audience member in there, right? I feel like there's car enthusiasts, younger people, and there's one more, but it's just not coming to me. It's not clocking to me, because I'm not standing on business, as it were, as the scripture reads. But yeah, I generally like really respect the people that are like, you know, like, respectful when they like driving the cars, and they like know the rules of like when they should be, you know, doing shicey activities, and when they should remain, and when they should be considerate of others, because I feel like this is definitely like a hobby where you have to be very considerate of others, because of the dangers that it can like enact onto other people. Because I'm already scared of driving as is. I'll be honest with you. I fucking hate driving. And so whenever I'm like next to a car that's like literally going like 50 above, I'd rather just pull over. I'd rather just treat it like a fucking ambulance and just let them do their thing. Because I don't want to say this, but like, I feel like those people, well, let's just say I believe that there aren't that many older people in the community, because the weakest links were taken out. But that's just a gamer theory, okay? I'm not really sure of like what the demographics look like in that community. I know there's a lot of women in there. I know there's a lot of, unfortunately, like, teenagers, and I know there's a lot of, you know, 20 somethings, right? And I've seen some older folks, you know, tear it up on the asphalt, as it were. But I feel like it's primarily like a very kind of Gen Z type of activity, if that makes sense. Similar with motorcyclists. And though I have my gripes with those people as well, but they it kind of boils down to the same concept. I think that a lot of motorcyclists can be very like just inconsiderate. Like that's all I can say about it. Like I just feel like they're just very inconsiderate when they're on the road sometimes, and like they treat it as like their road instead of like a road they're sharing with other people, if that makes sense. And while that isn't the case for every motorcyclist, I feel like the ones I have encountered personally, they don't really like treat the other drivers around them as like people inside a car. They treat them as cars, if that makes sense. Like they don't treat it as like there's like a human life inside the car. They treat it, and that's the same concept with like, you know, the racing people. They treat these like metal machines as metal machines rather than like the individuals that are like inside the machine that's operating it. And that honestly terrifies me. I don't know, that honestly terrifies me like a considerable amount. And if I had anyone in my life that was, well, I do actually. Well, I don't know if he's still like racist, but I have this cousin, right? And he used to have a Tesla. And every time we would like drive up to the city, he would be going like 100 over. And my ass crack was sweating. It was clenched. My toes were scrunched. It was, it was just, it, all I can say is like I know what it's like to be in the back seat of a car that's going very fast, and sometimes it can be like, oh my god, this is so fun, and those are when the roads are empty. But when we're around other cars, my ass is gripping the little handle thing, and just praying to whatever deity is out there that's looking down on me or up at me, whoever the fuck is looking at me, to just spare me this one car ride. And I just, and being the woman I am, I just get into any car that is available to me. And so I will never be the one to offer to drive. I will always be the one to enter a car, you know? And so, yeah. But anyways, but if I had anyone closer to me, like much, much closer to me that was in the scene, I think I would literally be like up, uh, I'd be like up at night, like when I know they're out at meets, and just being like, oh my god, like what if I wake up to like a text message being like, bro, so and so is in the ER, or like so and so got their car towed, so and so did this, or so and so killed this individual. And I think I would literally like it would make me like sick to my fucking stomach to know that that individual that was in my life was careless enough to hurt another individual, and was selfish enough to, you know, take someone's life, because that is the you know, the worst outcome to this sport, like taking someone's life or taking your own life. But I feel like a lot of these people in this community probably don't really have much of a regard for their own life, because adrenaline junkies don't really have much of that, from what I understand. And so yeah, but still, just because you want to kill yourself doesn't mean you have to inconvenience others to do it. You know, like you can do it in your room, you can do it in your backyard, you can do it in your garage if you really wanted to. But I feel like killing yourself is already like such a selfish act as is, and dragging people into that act of violence, I just think it's just, all I'm gonna say to that is that you're not gonna go to the pearly gates because of it. That's all I'll say. That's all, because like you can kill yourself and you'll go wherever the fuck, but like if you kill yourself and take someone with you, yeah, yeah, that's how I feel about that. But at the same time, I enjoy looking at the cars. I like looking at the cars. I like staring at the cars and being like, oh wow, like what the fuck you do to this? Because I saw a video where this guy had his entire car decked out in brat green, and someone said he was driving in a tennis ball, and that had me crying. Okay, that made me cry like real man tears. And there's another one where this guy was driving a car that looked like the essence of a Cheeto bag. Like it didn't have like Chester the cheetah on it anywhere, but like it had the essence of it. It had the color palette, it had the vibes, but there was no cheetah to be seen. And so I'm like, why do I get those cheetah vibes from it? And perhaps it's because it's in a Hellcat, and you know, Chester in a way is a cat, as we all know. But yeah, I that's what I like about like looking at this community. I like what cars people are interested in, and like I like the really asinine I don't want to like downplay it, but like it's very asinine at the end of the day because they argue about like the really mundane things, like oh, you drive a Mustang, bro, like are you sick in the head, like what the fuck, like you should be driving a Beamer, or like oh, why the fuck did you pull up in the Beamer, like the fuck. And it's like I'm just like the rules that you've like set up in this community, I just think it's so, I just think it's funny, okay? I don't know how they all came about. I don't know why they have such a prejudice against certain cars and why other cars are more revered. I don't know why certain cars are, dunked on, or like what. I just don't know. But like I like infighting. I like community infighting because that means that there are a lot of like passionate individuals that are like sharing their own opinion and fostering this community. But at the same time, I do think it can be fairly toxic. And so I'm wondering if that's like sustainable, like I wonder if that's like something that can like persist, because I know like way back in like what's it, the 70s when drag racing was a really really big thing, because Greece, right? Did Greece have that, or was it Hairspray? I don't know, but like the Mustangs and the oh, what the fuck is it, there's another one. It's not coming to me, I don't know why, but it's not coming to me, but like those cars, they were hot back in the day because you do a little this and that after you had a cigarette after class. But I wondered like how like these new generation of cars and like these new generation of like social media obsessed people are gonna affect the overall scene. Like I wonder if it's gonna make it more toxic. Well, it probably is, because rage bait is all the rage these days, as I've heard. And so a lot of it is really kind of boiled down to like what can I do to garner the most clicks and get the most attention so I can make the most money. That's basically what it boils down to, because I mean, how else you're gonna get another fucking car, right? Because if you crash your shit, that's it. Unless you scavenge it for parts and make yourself a little Fred Flintstone contraption. But these cars, man, they're expensive, and so you gotta make the mullahs somehow. And so I imagine that's kind of the route they're choosing to take, which I can reasonably understand. But at the same time, it's like you're risking your life and other people's just to make that content. And so that's where I kind of teeter, because like it's different from influencers, because it's like they're just staying in their fucking house, like promoting some stupid weight loss pills. And like, while it can hurt some people if they're willing to fall for it, it's not like it's like immediately like harming them, if that makes sense. Like they have to go out of their way to harm themselves. But like in this instance, like these car influencers, and I'm talking about the people that like to like swerve into like traffic and stuff. Those are the people that like are really putting people's lives in danger. And so yeah, that's how we feel about it. And so I'm interested to see how this like community like continues, because I know it's only gonna get bigger because boys in their cars. I don't know why that's a thing, but I mean, if it works, and now it's becoming girls in the cars. And then when you get to the women in the scene, they're often looked down upon because they're always like, oh, these chop huzz can't even fucking drive, like they're driving their daddy's whip or whatever the fuck. And for me personally, I don't know how to word this correctly, but I don't know if I would want to be in a community where I'm looked down upon for just who I am as a person, like how I was born. Because I feel like that, I don't know, because I feel like there's a lot of prejudice against women in many communities, even in the skateboarding community, from what I've seen, in a lot of sports communities, and anything that doesn't have to do with traditionally feminine hobbies. And so I can commend these women for, breaking into the scene and making it all, this and that. But I wonder if that's like good for their mental health, because having all these people like, like brag on you just for doing something that like you just like. Because like obviously these girls, maybe they're doing it for attention, maybe they're doing it for this and that. I feel like at the end of the day, it's all for attention. Like sue me, okay? Like sue me. I feel like at the end of the day, a lot of the hobbies we do can start from passion and can go into attention seeking, but like sometimes it just starts with attention seeking and just develops into even more egregious attention seeking. And I feel like the only times I ever see like the hobby remain a hobby is where they kind of remove themselves from the toxicity of the community and just kind of do their own thing. That's why I don't really engage with like the artist community or like the cooking community or like anything that I'm like really interested, because like I feel like once you get yourself into the community, there's like a need for you to feel accepted in the community, so it becomes like more of an like a dick contest, like a big dick contest, instead of just being something that you love to do. And I feel like that's probably what a lot of the women probably are going through, because there's a lot of big dicks around. All right, I don't know if it's you know, physically or metaphorically, but there's a lot of big dicks in that community, and I wonder if that is worth, you know, like the mental energy, because wouldn't you rather just do your own thing, like, you know, do your own car stuff? But then again, I'm not really well versed in the community enough to know if the women are well respected or like treated the same as the men. But like from what I've seen, it's the same treatment that like we experience everywhere else when it comes to traditionally masculine hobbies, and it would just looked down upon, you know, like, oh, women can't drive, this and that. Because I've gotten a lot of that too, and I can't drive for shit either, maybe because I'm a woman and an Asian, double whammy, and that's why I choose not to drive. Whenever I have the opportunity, I just don't drive, because I know myself, right? But as an independent woman, you just have to go places sometimes, you know, and you just can't rely on Ubers and stuff when you have your own fucking car. And so that's my thing. But I guess kudos to the women that are in this community trying to make it easier for other women to break into the scene. And I can only imagine it getting to the point where there's like a gender war. I don't know. I feel like there's that's just me overthinking it. All right, this is me overthinking it, but I truly feel like that the second more women come into the community, the more the hobby will become like sullied, and like, how do I explain that? It'll become like lesser than, because the women are finding it interesting, if that makes sense. It's like the same concept as like when women started getting into like comics, anime, sci-fi, like all these other traditionally masculine hobbies. I feel like once women start to become equal, like the demographics become like the women to men demographics become equal, I feel like that's where like the men are like, oh, like this hobby isn't as good as it used to be because the women are ruining it for us. And I'm not saying that it's like all across the board, you know, but like from what I've seen on the internet, it's just what I've seen, you know. I've seen it, and I've seen it happen multiple times over, and I don't know if it's going to happen in this community, but considering how toxic it can be, not that it always is, but like that it can be, I feel like, and like I'm just saying this, like I feel like a lot of the men in the car community are traditionally more conservative, are like very more conservative and a lot more traditional. Like, I'm not saying that's all across the board, but I'm saying that like from what I've seen, from like, you know, the people that watch the videos, from all the comments I've seen, I feel like a lot of them do generally lean towards that more than the progressives, because it's just some of the things they say, you know, like it's not overt, obviously, because they don't know how to do that, but they really do know how to dumb it down to the point where it's like, I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, I wish that wasn't the case, you know, like I wish that wasn't the case, because there's a lot of sentiments around like what the fuck is I don't know, there's just a lot of sentiments that ring to me like very conservative and traditional views. And like, I mean, the usage of slurs is definitely a choice, because you know, I'm not opposed to some cussing, because I like to cuss a little. I do, and I do enjoy dark humor. I do enjoy all of that hoo-ha. But I feel like if your humor solely relies on you using like slurs, I just implore you to be funnier. Like, there's a lot of things out there that are like really funny, hee hee ha ha. Like South Park, they don't really, I don't know. I like South Park. I don't know if that makes things better, but I feel like South Park, they're able to be funny without using slurs. Like, obviously they use slurs every now and then to like make fun of, but like you could be funny without being offensive. I mean, you could be okay, just null and void that point, because I don't really have that much power, that know-how in that sphere, because I don't really know what teeters along whatever the fuck. Okay, I just know what I find funny and what makes me mad, and so that's my opinion on this. But like, this not me being like, oh, you should stop using the R word, stop using all these slurs and stuff like that, or like I see like a lot of these straight guys calling these anyone that like drives like a traditionally like feminine car, like a Mercedes, like queer. And I'm just like I know you're using that as like a derogatory word, because when I use the word queer, I use it as like an umbrella term for people who are LGBT, but like it's not like inherently like an insult. It's a descriptive word. But when these people use the word queer, I'm just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I'm fine with you guys calling each other chop shit and all this other hoo-ha, because I mean that's your lingo, that's whatever the fuck. But I feel, but that's just me like harking on words and shit, because I'm a liberal. I'm a liberal. I don't know if I'm a liberal, but I'm like, I'm somewhere around there. Where was I going with that? Yeah, just like, oh yeah, the trajectory of the community. I just wonder where I'll go from here, because I just know there'll be more cars that will come out. There'll be more money to be made, more content to be made, and so I just wonder where it's all gonna go. Because you guys remember that infamous video? It was like, I crashed my McLaren. Yeah. Like, people like that really, I really do believe, give the community a bad rep, because what the fuck? Like, you care more about that car than you do your homie. Like, that's insane to me. Like, check up on your boy before you're like, my car, because at the end of the day, it's the people that's inside of it that matters, Like, I was watching this video where this guy, I think he like accidentally, or like maybe he like accidentally hit like a motorcyclist, and he like got out of the car and he was like freaking out, and he was like on the phone with somebody, and he was like, but like, is your friend okay? Like, I want to make sure your friend is okay. And he was like sobbing and like literally like almost like on the verge of tears at the thought of like almost killing somebody. And like, he didn't even think about like his car or like anything like that. Like, he was just like making sure like the guy that he hit was okay. And the motorcyclist that was with that one that got hit, like reassured him it was okay and stuff like that. And I mean, like, it's a harrowing experience to go through, to like experience like a not car crash, but like an automobile accident. But damn, bro, like, first and foremost, it's about us, bro. It's about like human beings before the actual like earthly belongings, the materialistics of it all. Because as expensive as these cars can be, they are more replaceable than human life. I feel like that's a sentiment that's like fairly well known in the community, but like, I feel like sometimes it falls on deaf ears, because when you are an give me a second. When you are an egotistical person, that's all you can think about. It's all about your ego. It's all about you. And so anything that is around you, if it does not help you in any way, it does not matter to you. And so if you can't contextualize them, and if they don't talk to you, if you don't see them, if you just don't whatever the fuck with them, like, you just don't regard them as the same as you when it comes to like egotistical and like narcissistic people. Because I do believe that some of the people are a little bit narcissistic, but that's just my opinion on it. But I feel like there's definitely like some like narcissism, some self-esteem issues, some identity issues, and I don't know if this is like something that is, what's the word for it? Like, I don't know if this is something that is actually like a thing, but I feel like there's like an air of like overcompensation for it. Like, South Park did a really good episode on the word, what was it? The F word, the FAG, the British cigarettes. And they were discussing how a lot of the people, when they like the motorcyclists that makes like the most sounds, the Hummers, whatever the fuck, they have like small penises, so they try to overcompensate by buying big cars. And I don't know if that's the same that thing that applies in this community. But for me, it personally feels like their cars are like an extension hood of their masculinity. And that's why I'm just kind of like, I don't know if that's a good thing, because a lot of the things that I do are like an extension of my femininity. Like, the clothing that I buy, the way I decorate my room, it's very like an extension of my own femininity. And so I can't really fault them for, having an extension of their masculinity by having all, like, cars. But at the same time, you got to be cognizant of it, right? Like, I don't know if I'm overcompensating with all of this stuff, like, I don't know if that's the case, but if it is, then I guess I could try to work on that. But I like, in terms of like overcompensating when it comes to like the cars, like, I feel like that's where like the sexism of the cars come in, because if you have like a traditionally like feminine car, you're not seen as a man because you drive a woman's car. But like at the end of the day, they all do the same thing. Like, they all get you to point A and point B, and it just matters on like the individual that's controlling the car. Because someone can own a Mustang, but that doesn't mean they can properly, shift gears, or like, work the fucking steering wheel. Like, it's all up to the skill of the individuals that's controlling the car. And that's why, if you do a good job, you deserve a moan or two. Just no farting, please. But what the fuck was that? Every time I like bring up the word fart, like my brain just goes kaput. The fuck? Oh yeah, and that's where I think like the sexism part of it comes in, because like it like that overcompensation of like wanting like an ultra masculine car, like a Mustang, like a Hellcat, an SRT. I don't know if SRTs and Hellcats are the same thing. Maybe they are. I don't know. Like, where the fuck I put my phone? There's some other cars I wrote down just for reference. Like Supras, and Camaros. I feel like those are like traditionally like more masculine cars, whereas cars like I said, Mercedes and maybe BMW even a little bit is like considered more feminine, because it's like more, I guess, like high end and luxurious, maybe, I don't know. And so I feel like that like aspect of it is like also harming the men that's in the community, because let's say you're a man that drives a Mercedes and you're called a fucking queer for it, like, but you're not queer. Like, what the fuck you do now? Like, you're just trying to fit in. Like, you just like the way the Mercedes drives. You just like a Mercedes. But like, the people around you, like, bro, like, you're fucking queer for driving a Mercedes. And maybe you are. But all I'm saying is that like I don't even know how to like word this, because I'm like running off of 24 hours of no sleep. But that illusion of masculinity is really like doing in a lot of men, because I feel like a lot of them do this for the community aspect, and the community aspect is a really, really, really big thing that keeps them coming back, because they do like having friends that they can talk about this hobby with, geek out about, and really kind of become like hyper fixated on the topic. And that makes sense, because because like in this day and age, you just want to find community anywhere you can. And if it's this community, then so be it. But at the same time, it's like, if it sucks that certain men aren't able to be considered in the in group because they prefer a certain car, because it's more feminine. And then it goes back to the topic of like the women being in the sports and stuff like that. Not the sport, I don't know if it's a sport, but like the hobby. And so yeah, I wonder if there's like a future where it's just like everybody just drives wherever the fuck they want, and they just do whatever the fuck they do. But maybe the cost of being on community is in like group infighting, because you guys just have like so many like opinions, so many things you want to say, and that's just the cost of being in a community. You just fight all the time, and that's not something I like came up with myself. It's like a thing I've seen on Instagram, that like the cost of being in a community is to experience like infighting or fighting. And that makes sense, because you have all these people that are really passionate about a certain topic and really knowledgeable about it as well. But as humans, we are very contradictive, and we don't always agree on the same things. And so that's kind of the price of like wanting to be like this. Like, you will just be bonded by always, you know, argue about what's the best car, what's the best like make of the car, what's the best year of the car, and you know what's the best modifications to add to it, or like all of this hoo-ha, right? But generally I think that as long as you like continue on this trajectory of just being like respectful to each other and the people on the road, I think that, I mean, I see a future where, you know, motherfuckers driving Bugattis everywhere. I don't know, like it's just Bugatti season. Ferraris, Bugattis, whatever the fuck you want it to be, right? And I just hope that like eventually it'll become like a hobby where, you know, like it doesn't feel intimidating to join. But maybe it should be, because it is a dangerous hobby. But maybe, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about the overall community, other than like it's just an interesting community for sure. And I intend on keeping my eye on it, but I don't know if I'll like get too into it, because your girl does not have the money to be spending on any modifications right now when I have student loans to pay off. I mean, I only have like 1K to pay off, but this one band I don't got right now. But I'll get my money up eventually, and I highly doubt I'll spend it on my car, because I'm probably going to spend it on like furniture or my other hobbies over my fucking car, because I barely even use that bitch. Now that I'm not commuting to school every single fucking day. But yeah. So, I mean, if you guys are in the car community, whatever this is called, I mean, I'd be really interested to hear what you guys have to say about it, because, maybe I could like quickly. So, I mean, it's already an hour, you know, it's already an hour, but I kind of want to show you guys like the list of cars that I've compiled that I think are pretty cool. Not that I would actually drive them myself, but I personally think that they are very interesting and very fun, and it'll be a good way to kind of end this discussion, because I don't really know what to leave you guys with other than cars are dangerous, you guys. So just be respectful and mindful of everybody around you, okay? Just be really cool about it, please. Okay. Let's make this bitch nice and big. So this is in Google Docs, because it's just where I'm like compiling everything right now, because I'm just a mess. I'm a mess. And that's okay. Where do you guys like me when I'm up here? Or do you like me when I'm here? Doesn't matter. I don't know if it matters. Let me can I make this bigger? So you guys can zoom in so you guys can see it. Yippee. Okay. So basically this is research I've done for my project I'm working on. And so I've been doing research on, you know, skateboarding and, you know, looking at cars, because I do feel that like the car that you drive can tell a lot about you, like as in your social standing, your wealth, how much money you have, your knowledge in cars, if it's like more like a more niche car, and other things like, if you're like a frequent driver, and if you're not, like I feel like cars can tell you a lot about a character. And so that's why I've been doing a lot of research in that. But like I feel like it's a very niche thing that only I care about, so I don't know. But anyways, I guess I can just get right into it. So I'll just scroll down, and I'll make like any comments that are worth. But if I squint like this, it's because I can't see. It looks like a fucking blob to me, right? But anyway, so these are some cars that I've like done some research on, and these are mostly like 90s cars. You won't see anything that's like recent, because the story is set in the 90s. And so I like collect like an array of cars that I think would be like fitting for some characters in the story. And yeah. But like the thing is, like I just don't know like what the significance of the car is, and so I have to do more research. But yeah, just lots of cars, you know, lots of cars. I do like this car in particular. It's a Bugatti, as you can see, and I do like just like the strangeness of it. I don't know how it actually drives, but I do like the way it's like shaped. I think it's very funky. And when I was like looking at Buicks, I the thing is, like, I don't know shit about Buicks, but isn't this thing like a fucking look like a fucking beast? My goodness. Yeah, so we have a few Buicks in here, because I'm like, goddamn. But then I realized that a lot of the cars I was looking at were like coupes. Is that how you say it? Coupes? Or like 2 doors only. And in my head, I just don't know why, I just envision all cars to have 4 doors, and so I had to like re-envision a lot of like the scenes in the story, because I'm like, how the fuck did they get to the back seat? But that's just neither here or there. So yeah, we just have some like classic cars, because you know, like classic shit. You have the Malibu, you have the Impala. I do like the Monte Carlo. I feel like it's a very unique car, and I especially like this color that it's very unique. I like it. I do like this one too. I do. And then see, these are some more classic cars that you would see like when they were doing all that drag racing. I don't know if that was the era. I really don't, because I'm not really in this car scene like that. But yeah. And then sometimes I'll like write notes just when I'm like doing research, so I can know like what the run is like. Yeah. I've seen some whatchamacallit, I've seen some discourse around the Vipers. I don't know if they're a good car or a bad car, but I just heard some things about them. So sound off if you know anything about them. But I just found like their shape like really unique. Like I can't believe like this much space is reserved for the actual like passengers, and this is for the engine. Because I know that like these high performance cars are like, it's like 90% of the money goes to like the engines because they're performance cars. But I would just assume that you would have just a little bit more like leg room. I don't know. Like if you're paying this much for a car, you know, like just give yourself a little room. But now we're like going down to like these cars. And I think I might have showed you guys this car the other day, or maybe not. I don't remember. But I think these cars are generally pretty cool. Reminds me of like Dean from Supernatural, but I think he drove a Chevy Impala. So yeah. And I do like the way Chargers look. The recent Chargers also look pretty cool too. But like I said, this story is set in the 90s. And so I've been just looking at the older ones. And yeah. And we have some Ferraris. I think this is like, there's like only 3 of them that were made. Yeah. Interesting stuff. I found this Ferrari particularly interesting too, because I don't think I've ever seen a Ferrari that looked like that before. It just looked like a, you know, your average car that's like kind of low key, but at the same time not really. And I do like the way these like headlights look. I think it's very interesting. And I do like this one too. I do like the boxiness of some cars. Not too much though, because then it goes into like Lego territory. But like I do like a tasteful geometry to it. But what do I know? I don't know fuck all about cars. I just look at a car and I'm like, wow, that's a pretty car. And that's all I can say about it. You know, yeah. And we have a few Fiats in here. Yeah, apparently they were just a really popular car back then, from what I heard. And so I just put them in here just in case some characters like the Fiats. Yeah. Like look at this rotund one. Like look at all these like little like rectangular ones, and then you see this like little rotund fuck. Oh, and then I do like this Firebird. I do think it looks really sick. And then you'll see later on I have a few like Japanese models down here, and I plan on adding more. I spent like 2 whole days looking at cars, and I'm just sick of it, you know. But yeah. But I don't hear this brand talked about as often, Firebird. I don't know if it's a brand that's still around. But I just don't hear like them talk about it, or maybe they have like a rebrand. I don't know. But yeah, they have some interesting cars, I would say. And now we're going down to the Fords, and we all know the Fords, you know? Yeah. We have like the classic ones. I feel like I should have like like grouped these a little bit better, but what can you do? I really like this one. This one looks like it's like origami, doesn't it? Like it's just like the shape of it. Like look at that, like the creases. Ugh, it's a gorgeous car. I tell you what, it's gorgeous. Cool. I don't know how it drives, so I'm just saying it looks pretty. Okay, I don't know how any of these cars drive. And then you know the good old Ford Mustang. And I do like this one. I think it's a very imposing car, the Mustang Boss. Just something about it just like is so like, I don't want to say like mafia or like gangster, because I don't think those are apt words for it, but it just feels like very sturdy. So whenever I think of like anyone that would drive it, I would think of like, you know, like a musclehead or like a meathead would drive like a car like this, you know, like not someone like skinny, like a real like musclehead that's like bald, maybe some facial hair, yeah, or maybe like frosted tips. Oh, definitely frosted tips. If this is like set in the 90s, I imagine like a frosted tip motherfucker would rep one of these bad boys. But I don't know what the stereotypes of a Mustang Boss drivers are. And then now we go down. I heard like, I think I put this here because they're like, they were fairly popular back in the day or something like that. And these two are, this one as well is very popular, Shelby. And then and then like I said, there's a lot of there's some cars that are like cheaper because some of the characters or most of the characters in the story are like middle class or very very lower class. And so I did some research about like shitty cars, and the Pinto kept coming up, and I don't know, I just put it in here. Like, I don't think it's an ugly car by any means, but I guess the function of it wasn't that great. But yeah, this looks like a funeral car to me, low-key. And then we have some, I feel like I need to put some more Hondas in here because I only have this one, but I'll eventually add some more because in the story right now there's some people, there's like a storyline where they're getting like Japanese cars imported, and so I might look into that. I don't know, but yeah. I do like the way Jaguars look too. I do like the very kind of like sleek, just like bulbous looking designs. I do like those as well. I don't know if I like this one so much though, but I just put it there because I like the color. I thought that looked cool. And you know, the one and only Lamborghini Diablo. Oh yeah, and then the way I did the research for this was I looked up like online articles, but I also did a lot of research with like video games, like car racing video games at the time. And so let me do like so games like I think like Gran Torino and like Sega Rally, or maybe Gran Torino was like a little bit later. I don't know. Or Turismo, sorry. You guys, just go easy on me. I took inspiration from games like that because I just want to know what was popping back then, you know, like the supercars in the 90s. You just never know. You never know. Sorry, I clicked on like error. Okay. But yeah, so if you're asking like where I got these cars, it's from Reddit threads, online articles, online forums, and video game from like 90s video games, because the cars that were, you know, featured there must be household names, and so I gotta have them around. Yeah. I really do like the way this one looks, in particular the Lamborghini Espada. Isn't that like a unique specimen of a car? Like, I just like the way it kind of like tapers off in the end right here. Very cool. I didn't put a year for this, but this is some Lancias, because I needed some more like kind of regular everyday cars that were more kind of high end, and so these were the cars that came up. But I'm also trying to figure out like other cars that they're like Range Rover-esque but not Range Rover, you know, like Rolls Royce and like Range Rover-esque but 90s. But for me personally, I just don't know what those cars could be, so I'm still going to do more research about that. But yeah, like these are like cars I imagine like older gentlemen would drive, like, you know, like lawyers. I wouldn't say CEOs, I don't think, because CEOs probably have their own like chauffeur. I don't know. But I imagine like, you know, just like rich off men or like middle class men would drive these, because I don't really know what the price point of them were. And we'll just keep on moving. I do like the Lancias though. I think these are Italian, and yeah, they have some nice cars, I guess. Yeah. Like, I like how this one looks like it's like smiling at you with this like little grill. I do like that. I do like, yeah, just the way it looks. Just like it looks like a summer car, you know? Damn, I have a lot of Lancias in here. I did not realize I collected that many of them, but I guess they were just hot commodity back then. I don't know. I don't know where I found this car in particular. It's called the Lister Storm. It might have been on one of those online articles, but I just thought the shape of it was so intriguing. I just had to put it in here, but I don't know if anybody in the store would ever drive it other than one character I have in mind. But even then, I don't know if it's like a European car only, so we'll have to see about that. Yeah. I heard Lotuses were actually shitty cars, but I mean, they're interesting looking cars. I'll tell you what, they're a little fugly, but it's like not so fugly that I wouldn't be like, that's a fugly car. I'd just be like, oh, that's a car and it's interesting. Yeah. And then so yeah, here we have an OG car for some of y'all. like, look at this one. It looks like a spider, doesn't it, with the eyes? If only they put like one more down here. Ugh, that would be cool. This one's interesting. I don't remember putting this one in here, but look at the design of it. Oh my god, very aerodynamic. I don't know if this was like a prototype only, because some of these cars are like concept only, and so I have to make sure to put a distinction when I get to these, because I don't want any inaccuracies. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, some Japanese cars here. I'm gonna add more probably, because the Japanese car scene was popping back then too. I don't know if was as popular as it is now, because I know a lot of people I know drive like, I don't know if Supras are Japanese, but I know they drive a lot of Nissans and Mitsubishi. Oh my god, I don't even know why I bother talking sometimes. Oh, I do like this Nissan though. I do. Like, doesn't it look so, like, I love this like lower, like, it just looks like an angry fucking car. It looks like it's yelling at you. Like, you can literally just put like teeth down here, like silver teeth. Like, wouldn't that look so cool? I don't know. That's just me riffing. Okay. Yeah, Oldsmobiles. I think I might look more into these, because they were fairly popular back in the day too. I think the Oldsmobile and the Mustangs were the most popular ones in like the 70s, but you could correct me if you really want to. I do like this one too. I think this is also like an Italian car, but I feel like that's the same as the one we just looked at. Is it not? The yellow one that we just saw? No, it's different. It just like has the 4 headlights that made me question it, but it's an interesting call nonetheless. I don't know where I got this car from. I'll be honest with you. I don't hear it around that often, but that's because I'm not in the circle to know, but I don't know how well it runs, but it looked interesting, so I put it in. I do like this one though, the Porsche. There's was it the yellow one I was looking? I don't think there was a yellow one. I might be lying to you guys about that, but the white one looks pretty cool too. Because this is like the road ready version of like the track version of it. Because and then my dad, way back when I was like a teenager, had one of these bad boys, a Porsche Boxster, and I don't know what year it was, but man, was that thing fickle. It was a very, very fickle car. Like, out of all of these cars, like, this is the only one I have experience with. And I remember, I think it was a manual. No, it was a shift. It was a shift stick. And it would like literally like stop. It would stop in the middle of the road all the fucking time, and it just annoyed the shit out of me, because I was like an insecure teenager that hated having all this attention on me. And it was like this like navy blue. I can probably like search it up for you guys. Porsche. Cause it was like his prize possession way back in the day when it was in our possession. But I think he sold it. I don't know. Oh, I think he sold it when I started driving. And then he ended up getting a Jeep, and I drove the Jeep. Can you imagine me in a Jeep? Oh my gosh, you guys, that's trifling, isn't it? How do I'll move you guys. Like, yeah, this is basically what he had. No, without like this little decal, like it's like this. Yeah, he had like something like this. Not like 2024, but like the color of it looks very familiar to me personally. But anywho, oh my god. Sorry. I don't know what the fuck I was talking about. Anyways, yeah, these cars are very fickle, but I put them in here because apparently they were fairly popular when they were first coming out, and so put them in here just for funsies. But since I've ridden in them, I just don't really find the hype in them. But whatever. I might have to move this one up because this is the. Oh wait, is the Firebird a pawn? Oh, I'm gonna sound like a fucking idiot. I don't know. I don't know anything about these cars. I just know they look cool. Okay, whatever. I might have to move this one up because this is a Firebird, but I will do that later. Make myself bigger. Anyways, then we have I'm gonna put another rolls. I don't know why the R's have been so hard for me as of late. The Rolls Royces, I'll put some more in here as of late. Eventually, what the fuck am I talking about? Oh my god, I'm losing it. But this was the only one that kind of caught my eye, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Yeah. Interesting build on this one, isn't it? It's very interesting. I wonder why I put this one in here. Maybe because it was like a reliable car. We need more of those. Oh, so yeah, Supras are Japanese. Okay, good, because I didn't want to come off as racist. I do like these cars though, the Celicas. I think they're like really sick. There's like this white one I saw on Reddit, and it was a gorgeous car, but I didn't want to rip it off from Reddit, so I just picked just some random one I found. But I do think they look rather interesting. Yeah. And then I was on some Reddit forums, and I remember seeing this guy talk about how his mom used to work at like Vector, and so he like was really into Vector cars when he was like a kid. And so I was like, I guess I could look into those, and I guess these are like American made cars, I think. And so yeah, very interesting cars to say the least. I don't know how well they drive, but yeah. And then these are the rest of it. So this is a Venturi. I think that one looks very, very interesting. Like, look at that. Like, holy shit, you get like a little step up. Like, that's pretty sick to me. Anyway, and then we have another shitty car down here, Yugo. There's like a saying that I saw on like Reddit where it's like, in a Yugo, sometimes you don't go. And that had me giggling, and so I included it. But I still need to look for more kind of cheaper cars, or like cars that are like hand-me-downs for kids that grew up in like the 60s and the 70s, because I imagine that in this universe some of the people don't really drive like new cars, and so I don't really know what like cheap cars were on the market around the time, so I'll have to do some more research on that. But that's kind of my list. I wonder if we looked at the Spider. Yeah, these were like the sources I was looking at. I have my sources up here, but not all of them, but some of them. What the fuck was it called, yo? I think it was like a Spider. Oh my god, what the fuck was it? Okay, let me make myself big again, and then I will, because I don't want to spoil anything right now. You guys don't get free content just cause you think you look pretty. Okay, let me look, because I have it written down somewhere. Oh, it's a Ferrari Spider car, and I think it's pretty cool looking. Hello. Let's make it a little bit. OBS. Show thyself. Jeez Louise. Anyways, but what year was it? It was like 19. Oh, I think it was 67. It's like the older ones. I think this is what it was. I think these are pretty sick. Like, look at this old geezer next to it. Like, ain't that some shit? Like, doesn't it look so sick? I don't know. I just thought it looked sick, so I put that in there. Let me make myself big again, and let me look at the other cars I have. I think that's about it. I have like a Jaguar XJR, which is for like this really rich guy. I don't know if that's apt, but I gave it to him regardless. And I also gave someone like a Lincoln Navigator, and I don't know if that was a popular car back in the day or not. Specifically a 1998 Lincoln Navigator, because this individual has kids, and so I would imagine he needs like a big boy. Oh, and then okay, I guess I can show you this. I don't know if. What the deuce? Will you guys be able to see if I like move myself to the other thing? you guys see me? Well, anyways, don't mind this. Okay, just don't mind the text. But anyways, so we have the McLaren, a very, very famous car back in the day, as we all know. And then we saw this bad boy, the white one. And then, did we see this one, the Diablo? Yeah, we put that in there because that's a fairly famous car too. And then we have the Camaro right here for another character. And then this is the guy I was talking about that has the things. Yes. And then this person, I haven't figured out what the dealio is, but oh my god, you guys saw my home screen. But yeah, that's the cars. Oh, and I guess I can show you one more thing, but you guys will have to bear with me. Bear with me. And if you're wondering what it is, it's just like a graphic I made. It's not that fucking serious. Okay. And then I don't remember if I put these cars in the list, but I might have to, so I remember who has what. But yeah. So this is a Ferrari, whatever the fuck, and I think it's pretty sick. And this is the Mustang Fastback Bullet. Yeah. And so these two, they're twin brothers, and I wanted to look for makes that have like the same, like a similar build, but have like different countries of origin and different like geometry styles. And so for this character, he's more of like a professional kind of guy. And he likes working with a lot of foreign people, and he's got the taste for like the higher life, but he originally came from a very kind of all-American, kind of middle to lower class family where everyone in his family worked in like a car shop. And so that's kind of what I wanted to embody with this car, because this character in particular, he doesn't really, what's the word? He doesn't really like, he's like a really kind of down to earth guy. He's like an all-American guy, even though he's Greek. Both of them are Greek Americans. But yeah. And so I imagine, and then so this is their older cousin, and I imagine he would have like a Mustang, because I feel like their family would be like a musty family. And then this character in particular, he's a Dodge boy. But like these two, they're like best friends. And so I would imagine they would be interested in like the same like type of hobbies, because boys in their cars. And yeah, I think that's basically it when it comes to the cars that I know about or what I'm interested in. And I guess yeah. So if you guys have any cars that you like to recommend, like I'm looking for cars that are like that are set from I'm okay with like the 60s to like the 90s. Cars that are like cheaper, like really cheap, like everyday cars that we see on the road. Like I don't know, like I feel like nowadays I see a lot of Toyotas and Hondas and stuff like that, but like cars like that, cars that are like cheaper, reliable, and for the lower to middle class. And then I'm also looking for cars that have 4 doors that can house a decent amount of people, that are also very luxurious. And I'm looking for just like luxurious old-fashioned cars that aren't like sports cars like the ones I've shown you guys, because a lot of these are for the characters that are like in their mid-20s. But I'm looking for like old-fashioned luxury cars that are for like people in their like 50s and 60s, and I don't know what would be interesting for those guys, and so if you guys have any recommendations, that'd be great. And if you guys have any recommendations for cars that are set in the 90s that I've overlooked, or anything that I could look at, go right ahead, because I'm open to anything you guys got to give me. Do you guys see that I haven't like plucked my eyebrows in a bit? I'm letting them grow a little bit, like the Lorax said, let them grow, but yeah, if you guys, that's basically all I have to say on that, because I can only ramble on about cars for so long, and I want to go to sleep so bad, so fucking bad. And so I will leave you guys with that. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little, and I will see you guys in the next video. Right, kisses.